say the mind is kind, that it helps you to forget, that it filters out the fever and the salt of the regret. But my brain is like a camera with a shutter stuck on open, developing the negatives of every word we've spoken. I remember the exact shade of the sweater that you wore, and the way the sunlight hit the dust as you headed for the door. I know the temperature of the air and the song on the radio, everything my sanity is begging me to let go. I can't even buy a gallon of milk without a sting, because I remember how you hated the brand that I bring. I remember the way you sighed before you'd start to pick a fight, and the specific way the shadows moved across your face at night. People tell me give it time, the edges always blur, but the sharpening of the details is a constant cold spur. If healing means forgetting, then I'm stuck inside the wound, watching every moment of us being perfectly in tune. Cause a happy heart is hazy, it lives inside a glow, it lets the little things just wander off and go. But a broken heart is a witness, a collector of the pain, and memorizes every single drop of the falling rain, and keeps a ledger of the lost and a diary of the gone. It's the only thing that's awake before the breaking of the dawn. Logic tries to walk away, but the damage wants to stay. Broken hearts remember everything the love threw away. I wish I had a clouded mind, a memory made of sand, so I wouldn't feel it, I feel fam of your touch upon my hand. But the cracks just act like canyons where the echoes never die, and I'm cursed to remember every I love you and goodbye. I remember the way it looked, I remember the way it felt, the hand I was given, the cards that were dealt. It's all so clear. It's all still here. Broken hearts remember everything. A final sharp intake of breath and silence. I try to walk through the rooms without breathing too loud, but the silence is heavy like a dark winter cloud. I've hidden the photos and I've painted the walls, but I still hear your laughter in the back of the halls. Every floorboard that creaks, every wind through the pain is a ghost of a sound that is calling your name. I'm a stranger in here, just a ghost in a cage, trying to find where we ripped out the page. I went to the market and I heard someone call for a person I didn't even know at all. But my heart skipped a beat and my hands started to shake before I remembered it's all a mistake. The city is screaming with a million different sounds, but it's only your whisper that's breaking my bounds. I'm haunted by syllables, I'm haunted by tone, the loudest vibration when I'm all alone. Now I'm living in the to speak it, but the air gets too thin. And I try to forget it, but it's under my skin. Two simple syllables, a whole world of regret. The one thing my memory won't let me forget. It's the ringing in my ears. It's the salt in my tears. Everywhere I go, I hear it softly, faintly. The echoes of your name. Music thins out until only a single repeating note remains. I'm still wearing the shirt from the night that we swore that nothing could ever walk through that front door. You held my hand like a promise kept, while the rest of the world just stayed home and slept. We spoke in always and never again. Two paper hearts in a hurricane, but the ink on the contract was barely even dry before we traded the hello for a long, slow goodbye. The pictures are still in the frames on the wall, a version of us that stood 70 feet tall. I look at the smiles and I don't recognize the hope that was living inside of our eyes. It's like a movie I've seen 1,000 times through, but I can't change the ending for me or for you. 1 minute I'm holding the key to your heart, the next I'm just watching it all fall apart. Now I'm waking up in the ruins of a dream, hearing the silence rip through every seam. How does a lifetime get compressed into hours? How does the garden run out of the flowers? We were the fire, we were the gold, we were the story that never got old. But the clock hit the ceiling and the light went away, and I'm standing here watching forever turn into yesterday. Yeah, forever just turned into yesterday. There's no slow transition, no warning in sight, just the flick of a switch and the end of the light. We went from till death to I hope you're okay. In the blink of an eye, you just drifted away. Yesterday's coffee, yesterday's plans, just a handful of sand in my empty hands. I'm still in the always, but you're already gone forever. Turn into yesterday. try to tell my pulse to slow its pace, to stop looking for the outlines of your face. I told my melodic, the gallery door, to stop tracing your footprints on the floor. My head has memorized the reasons why we're through. It's cataloged the ways I'm better off without you. I've deleted every photo, every thread. I've rearranged the pillows on the bed. I tell my friends I'm doing fine alone, that I don't jump at every flicker on my phone. Logic says the fire's out, the ashes have gone cold, but there's a secret that my chest refuses to hold. 'Cause my mind is moving on, but my blood is falling short. My ribs are just a cage for a failing fort. I can say it's over till the break of dawn. I can act like all the gravity is gone, but every time I breathe, every beat is like a chore. The logic and the bone are fighting in a war. I've signed the papers, I've endured the scars, but I'm still wishing on your name across the stars. Yeah, my head knows we're ghosts, but my heart is still saying yours. It's a stubborn kind of rhythm, a beautiful mistake, a bridge that won't stop burning no matter what's at stake. I'm a kingdom in rebellion, a house at odds within. How do I start to lose when the muscles won't let go of the wind? My head says goodbye, but the beat says not yet. My mind is a no, but my chest is a yes, still saying yours, always yours, 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 yours. The coffee's still sitting where you left it cold, a story unfinished, a secret untold. I checked the driveway, I checked the hall, but your shadow is missing from the cracks in the wall. You didn't pack a bag or even shut the light. You just slipped through the fingers of the middle of the night. Now I'm standing in the echo of the door left ajar, wondering how forever could get this far. No storm in the sky, no thunder in the room, just a sudden silent, empty kind of doom. It wasn't a fire, it wasn't a storm, it was the ice taking over where the bed was warm. Oh, the hardest part of being mourning is that love left without a warning. I'm tracing the ghost of your hand on the sheet, listening for footsteps out on the street. We had plans for Sunday and a life for next If you'd yelled, if you'd fought, if you'd said we were through, I'd have a reason for losing you. There's no note on the table, no glass on the floor, just the quietest nothing I've heard anymore. You didn't say goodbye, you didn't say why, you just let the us in us wither and die. Love left without warning, left me here with the morning, just a heart-shaped hole in the dark. Yeah, you left without warning. Rain is falling on the rooftop like a whisper in the dark, and every quiet drop reminds me of the night you broke my heart. Your picture glows across the silence from the scream beside my bed, and every word you ever told me still keeps running through my head. I try to tell my lonely heart that time would make it worse or better, but every step I take away from you just pulls me back together. Because loving you still hurts, even though you're gone, like a melody that keeps on playing after the song, and every dream I try to build just falls apart again. Because loving you still hurts more than it did back then. The coffee cup you left behind me still waits upon the shelf, like it believes you'll walk back through the door and be your old self. I hear your laughter in the hallway every time the floorboards creak, like a ghost inside the memories that refuses to leave. I try to hide inside the daylight where your shadow couldn't stay, but every lonely night reminds me love doesn't fade away. Because loving you still hurts, like a scar that never heals, like the echo of forever in the silence that I feel. And every road I try to follow leads me back to you, leads me back to you. 'Cause loving you still hurts, like broken hearts always do. Maybe someday I'll be stronger, maybe someday I'll move on, maybe time will close the chapter of the love we built upon. But tonight the truth is simple, and it's something I can't hide. Part of me still lives forever on the night you said goodbye. Because loving you still hurts, and every breath I take, and every fragile promise my lonely heart can make. And even if the world keeps turning and my tears run out of words, a part of me will always know loving you still I try to scrub the scent of you from every thread, to flip the mattress over on this hollow bed. I painted every wall a different shade of blue, thinking I could drown out the residue of you. But your ghost is in the floorboards, it's in the kitchen light, it's a persistent flicker in the middle of the night. I've thrown away the letters, I've locked away the rings, but I can't stop the haunting of these everyday things. The grocery store is a minefield of the things you like. The bike path is a memory of the way we hiked. I see a silver car and my heart begins to race, expecting just a glimpse of your familiar face. Time is supposed to be the healer, or so the stories go, but it's just a slow motion video of everything I know. The edges should be blurring, the colors should be dim, but every single detail is still cutting through the skin. 'Cause the memories refuse to fade, they're dead and never will be stayed. They're written in permanent jagged ink, taking me down before I can blink. I'm screaming at the shadows to just let me go, but they're the only parts of you I still get to know. Bright as a fire, sharp as a blade, the memory refused to fade. I'm begging for a little bit of gray, for the sharpest parts of you to wash away. But the more I try to forget your name, the more the silence sounds exactly the same. Still vivid, still burning, the world keeps on turning, but the memories refuse to I watched your tail lights shrink to a pinpoint of red, while I stood on the curb with a stone in my head. You're miles down the highway, chasing the dawn, finding a rhythm now that you're gone. But I'm still standing in the same patch of light, in the freezing remains of that Tuesday night. My body moved back to the house on the hill, but the rest of me is standing there still. I go through the motions, I drink from the cup, I talk to the people who tell me look up, but I'm just a shell, I'm an empty machine, a ghost in a life that's no longer mine. It seems because when you left, you didn't leave alone. You took every comfort I'd ever known. I'm a passenger now in a life I don't own, a cold hollow statue carved out of bone. tethered to the dust on the street, to the moment the world fell away from my feet. You took the tomorrow and you left me the blind, and I'm just a shadow you left far behind. Yeah, I moved on, well that's what I find, but my heart stayed behind. It's sitting right there on the edge of the drive, the only part of me that's still half alive, waiting for a car that'll never return, and a lesson that I'm far too broken to learn. I'm here in the kitchen, but I'm there in the rain. I'm here in the silence, but I'm there in the pain. Still waiting, still wishing, still there. Yeah, my heart stayed behind. The sun goes down like a heavy curtain rod, and I'm left here in the pews of a silent cot. I reach for the remote just to kill the quiet, but my mind is staging a lonely riot. I used to complain that you talk too much. Now I'm starving for a sound I can't quite touch. The static on the radio is a hollow choice compared to the hum of your velvet voice. The kitchen clock is ticking like a warning sign, marking all the hours that are no longer mine. I find myself humming my favorite song just to feel like the air isn't acting wrong. I leave a message on your voicemail just to hear the tone, then I hang up before the beep, feeling twice as alone. It's funny how the darkness has a way of amplifying the sound of a person who's tired of trying. Oh, these nights without your voice are the loudest kind of pain, like the sound of the wind with no promise of rain. I'm drowning in a pool of the things we never said, replaying every I love you inside of my head. The ceiling is a canvas of the words I wanna hear, but the midnight is a desert when you aren't near. I'm losing my direction, I'm losing my noise in the long cold stretch of these nights without your voice. If silence is golden, then I'm over-refined. I'm trading my sanity just to rewind to a Tuesday evening, to a meaningless chat, to a how was your day. I'd give my life for that. Now it's just the heat of humming and the shadows on the wall. I'm listening for a whisper, but I don't hear anything at all. Just the night, just the night. Without your voice. The streetlights flicker on the empty side of the bed, tracing outlines of the things we never said. I see you in the steam of my morning cup, in the covers hang, never quite opened up. Your silhouette dancing on the kitchen tile, the ghost of a promise, the phantom of a smile. I'm living in a house that's become a gallery of a life that's been reduced to a fading memory. I walk past the cafe where we spent our July. I saw two strangers laughing, I wanted to cry, but sun was hitting the glass at that certain angle where our tangled lives began to untangle. I'm chasing a light that's already gone out, moving through a fog of regret and of doubt. Every corner I turn is a trap and a snare, because I'm looking for someone who's no longer there now. I'm just walking in the shadows of our love, trying to find the sun in the clouds up above. But the dark has a shape and it looks just like you, in everything I say and everything I do. It's a cold kind of comfort, a hollow embrace, searching for the warmth of a long-lost face. Yeah, the world is in color, but I'm stuck in the gray, chasing the shadows of the love we threw away. They say the shadows disappear when the light goes down, but mine follow me through this lonely town. They're longer at sunset, they're heavy as stone, a reminder that I'm never and always alone. Just a shape on the wall, just a ghost in the hall. I'm still reaching out, but I'm only touching shadows, the shadows of us. Shadows, you know. Silence where you stay. I still find myself whispering to the hallway, like I'm waiting for your keys to hit the floor. But the dust is settling in the places where your laughter used to bridge the open door. I bought the groceries that you like on Friday, then I remembered I'm the only one to feed. It's funny how the things we never spoke of are now the only things I think I need. Now there's a silence where you stayed, a heavy debt that never will be paid. It's a ringing in my ears, it's a weight across my chest, a ghost that never lets the shadows rest. I'm screaming in my head just to feel a little noise, but I'm losing the memory of your voice. Yeah, the loudest part of being betrayed. is the silence where you stay. Your side of the closet is a hollow canyon, a for sale sign on a life we haven't lived. I'm holding on to grudges like they're anchors, because I've got nothing left of yours to give. The clock is ticking like a hammer on a nail, driving home the fact that I'm alone. Every room is just a box of empty air in a house that's forgotten it's a home. They say that quiet is a peaceful thing, but they've never felt the sting of a goodbye that was never actually said. Just the sound of the static in my head. It's so quiet now, so quiet I can hear my heart break. Just a hollow space, just the silence where you stayed. The sun went down and took the strength I had to keep from feeling everything so bad. I put on a brave face while the world could see, but now the stars are looking down at me. The silver light is spilling on the floor, and I can't hold the damn back anymore. The shadows stretch across our empty bed, matching every heavy word you said. The world is sleeping, dreaming through the dark, while I'm still searching for a tiny spark. I wonder if the moonbeams reach your window too, and if they show a different side of you. Are you sleeping soundly while I'm falling down? The loneliest girl in this quiet town. There's no one here to see me fall apart, no one here to mend a jagged heart. And there are tears beneath the moon tonight, hidden from the harshness of the light. A river flowing silent, cold and deep, while all the lucky ones are fast asleep. I'm crying out your name to a salt and silver, tears beneath the The calendar is stuck on a Tuesday in July, the afternoon we traded always for goodbye. I remember how the air felt heavy and too still, like the world was bracing for the coming of the chill. There was no sudden lightning, no crash of falling glass, just the quiet sound of seasons as they started to pass. I watched your taillights vanish in the shimmer of the heat, and felt the very pavement crumble underneath my feet. I went back to the kitchen to wash away the day, but the water felt like ice and the light had turned to gray. I saw your favorite coffee mug sitting on the shelf, and I couldn't find the strength to even face my own self. We spent 1,000 mornings building up these walls. Now the silence is a hammer echoing through the halls. It's a strange kind of wreckage when there's nothing left to see but the total devastation of the you and me. Oh, the clock didn't stop, but the world lost its beat. The day that the bitter tasted better than the sweet. It wasn't a war, it was more like a fold, a fire that went out 'cause it ran out of gold. I'm standing in the rubble of the plans that we spoke, in the hollow of the words that finally just broke. Yeah, the sun kept on rising, but I'm still in the smoke of the day our love broke. I'm looking for the fracture, I'm looking for the seam, the moment that the nightmare took over the dream. Was it something I said, or the things I left out? The day that the faith was run by the doubt. The sun went down, the stars came out, but I'm still standing here in the middle of the break, the day love broke. Slow dying piano chord, slow dying piano chord, slow dying piano chords. The night love ended, the street lights didn't flicker, the moon didn't fall, there was no writing appearing on the wall. We were sitting on the sofa, just a foot of space apart, but I felt the sudden distance like a needle in my heart. You were looking at the TV, but your eyes were somewhere else, in a world you'd built in secret, all entirely by yourself. The ice inside your glass made a lonely, hollow sound as the life we built together started sinking in the ground. I asked you what you're thinking, and you didn't even blink. You just stared into the bubble of your lukewarm drink. You said, I think I'm empty, in a voice so thin and dry that it didn't leave me room to even ask you for why. I watched you get your jacket, I watched you find your keys, while I stayed frozen in the quiet, shaking at the knees. No thunder in the distance, no crashing of the sea, just the sound of someone leaving who used to belong to me. Oh, the night love ended was the quietest night of all. No pictures hit the floor, no shadows on the hall. It was just a slow surrender, a dying of a spark, a tiny silent note that left me stranded in the dark. The world kept on spinning, the neighbors didn't wake, while I was left to measure every inch of this mistake. Yeah, the stars stayed in their places, and the wind forgot to cry. On the night love ended with a whisper and a sigh. I expected a storm, I expected a scream, something loud enough to wake me from this suffocating dream. But you just closed the door with a click instead of a slam, and left me here wondering who the hell I am. No sirens, no rain, just the sudden heavy presence of the pain. The clock just kept on ticking, the light just kept on faded on the night of ending. No sirens, no rain, just the sudden heavy presence of the pain. The clock just kept on ticking, the light just kept on fading on the night love ended. The night love ended. The TV's hum is a serrated blade, cutting through the plans we made. I used to crave a little peace and quiet before my heart staged this lonely riot. Now the ticking clock is a thundering drum, beating out the rhythm of the cold and the numb. I'm listening for the ghost of your keys in the lock, but the only thing moving is the hands on the clock. I dropped a spoon on the kitchen tile, and the ringing lasted for a country mile. It echoed off the walls like a desperate plea in a house that's forgotten how to house me. Your side of the closet is a vacuum of sound, a hollowed out canyon where no life can be found. I try to hum a tune just to fill up the space, but the melody dies when it can't find your face. Oh, it's the silence after the goodbye, the kind of quiet that makes a grown man woman. it's a heavy iron weight. The sound of a soul when it's far too late. It's a ringing in the ears, it's a static in the brain. The loudest part of the heartbreak and the pain. Yeah, the screaming was better than this hollowed out shove in the crushing cold silence after our love. They say the quiet is where you find your soul, but I'm just finding more of this bottomless hole. I'd trade every comb for a crash in a bank, for the beautiful noise of the songs that we say. So quiet I can hear the dust fall. So quiet I can hear the shadows crawl. I'm holding my breath, waiting for a noise that'll never come back. Just a silence, just a silence after love. I took a drive back to that gravel road where the wildflowers bend under the window. The willow tree still leans toward the creek, but the names we carved are faded and weak. It's funny how the world just keeps spinning round when my entire universe fell to the ground. Right here on this patch of weathered earth, the place that witnessed our ending in birth. The air is different, it's thin and it's gray, like the color was bled from the light of the day. I see the ghost of us sitting on the hood, talking about always like two people should. But the sparks didn't fly, they just turned into smoke and forever became the cruelest of jokes. Now I'm standing in the footprints of a better man, trying to remember when the never began. Oh, I'm standing at the altar of the almost was, searching for a reason just because. There's no police tape, there's no chalk on the street, just the sound of the tall grass under my feet. It's the quietest crime scene I've ever seen, the space where the us used to be in between. I'm just a visitor, lost and terrified at the exact coordinates where our love died. I wanna build a monument, I wanna leave a stone, so I don't have to carry this wreckage alone. But the wind just blows through the hollows of my chest, and the memories here won't let the shadows rest. No sirens wailing, no sky falling down, just a heart-shaped grave on the edge of this town, right here where our love distant wind chime, then a slow fade. I was building us a fortress out of brick and steady stone, while you were building bridges to a world I've never known. I was planting deep set roots in the garden of our home, while you were looking at the horizon, itching just to roam. I kept the fire burning, I kept the porch light on, but I didn't see the flicker of the moment you were gone. You were sitting right beside me, but your spirit was a ghost, already halfway down the road to the things you wanted most. Was it a name I never heard, or a city on a map? Did you find a hidden window, or a secret little gap? I traced the map of us, and I try to find the line where your destination shifted and stopped matching up with mine. You didn't leave a footprint, you didn't leave a trail, you just let the wind of somewhere else catch a restless sail. And now I'm holding on to ghosts of the plans we used to make, while you're 1,000 miles away for your own heart's sake. Oh, I'm standing at the border of the life we used to share, reaching out for someone who's no longer really there. It wasn't that you hated me, or that the fire died. It's just that you had secrets that you had to keep inside. I'm looking for the compass, I'm looking for the wire underneath the ceiling of this vast and empty sky. My love was a harbor, yours was a wave, and I couldn't keep the spirit that I couldn't even save. Now I'm just the wreckage left behind in the sand, where your heart wandered to a different land. They say that love's a journey, but they don't say what to do when the person that you're walking with walks away from you, without a map or warning, without a final glance, leaving me to shiver in the coldness of the chance. To the mountains, to the sea, to anywhere that wasn't here in me. I'm still at the harbor, I'm still at the gate, but your heart wandered, and I'm just too late. thought the air would clear once you walked out the door, that the dust would finally settle on this hardwood floor. I told myself that time was a professional at grace, that eventually the wind would just erase your face. But the calendar is lying, the weeks are just a ghost, and I'm still tethered to the thing that hurts the most. It's been 100 days of trying to be strong, but every ride I find just proves that I was wrong. I saw your sweater in the box I meant to give away. It still holds the scent of a better, softer day. I reached to pick it up, then I had to let it fall, because the ghost of your departure started pacing in the hall. They say that closure is a gift you give yourself, but mine is sitting broken on a high and lonely shelf. I'm tired of the people saying let it go, when they never had to live with what I know. 'Cause your goodbye isn't a moment, it's a living thing. It's the winter in the middle of a promised spring. It's a bell that keeps on ringing in a hollow tower. It's the way the clock freezes at the midnight hour. I've tried to dull the edge, I've tried to find the cure, but the memory of you leaving is the only thing that's pure. Yeah, the world keeps on moving, but my heart is in the dirt. 'Cause your goodbye still leaves, and your goodbye still crashing wave. It's just a slow motion walk to a shallow open grave. You said it was for the best, you said we'd both be free, but you took the only version of the best. It still hurts in the morning, it still hurts when I breathe. I'm still standing at the station, watching you leave. Yeah, it still hurts, always hurts, always hurts. Our world fell apart. It didn't go down with a crash or a bang, or a final high note that the choir girl sang. It was more like the shelves that couldn't hold the weight, or a slow-moving rust on a garden gate. I watched the first hairline crack in the glass, and I prayed it was something that simply would pass. But the pressure of us was a heavy cold stone, and it's hard to build towers when you're building alone. I'm looking at photos of 2 years ago, with the warmth in the winter and the light in the snow. But I look at us now and the colors are bleached like a shore that the tide has finally overreached. We tried to use tape, we tried to use glue to fix all the things that were breaking in you. But you can't heal a heart with a needle and thread, when the words that we need are the words left unsaid. Ooh. couldn't take more. I reached for your hand, but I caught the debris of the life that drifted away from me. Yeah, the sky didn't fall and the world didn't start, but I felt every fracture when our love fell apart. I'm tired of trying to balance the shards of playing a hand with the deck of dead cards. I'm bleeding from edges I thought was still smooth in a house where there's nothing left for us to prove. Just a pile of dust and a handful of salt, and the crushing weight of whose was the fault. It's over now. Yeah, love fell apart. Our love fell apart. Our love fell apart. Heartbreak beneath starlight. The sun took the secrets of the day to the grave, leaving me with the pieces I couldn't quite save. I'm sitting out back on the cold wooden steps in the valley of stories, and not ready yet. The sky is a canvas of diamonds and ice, but looking at forever doesn't feel very nice. When forever was something I pictured with you, now it's just a big empty bucket of blue. The Milky Way is stretching like a long silver road, but I'm stuck in the driveway with a heavy set load. I wonder if Polaris is guiding you home, to a house that's not hollow, to a life not alone. I used to find comfort in the vastness out there. Now the infinite space is just too much to bear. Every twinkling light is a mocking reminder that I'm losing the trail, and I'll never be a finder. Oh, it's a beautiful ruin, it's a glittering age, watching the cosmos for my own heart's sake. The world is so quiet, the air is so thin, and I don't know where the without you begins. I'm crying in the glow of a billion dead suns, thinking of the battles that neither of us won. It's a cold kind of magic, a lonesome old sight, just a heartbreak beneath the starlight tonight. The moon is a sliver of a broken offering, a pale silent witness to the winter you bring. I'm wishing on planets that are already gone, trying to find a reason to make it to dawn. Just gas and fire, and a heart on the wire. So much space in the wind trace of your face, under the stars, under the stars. A slow shimmering guitar chord that rings until it disappears.